As a quick recap, I just want to recount a few things. My great grandmother Matilda, she was the first believer that I could discover within my family line, that I could get a story about, being on my father's side. Um, I have very little information about my mother's side other than they were Protestants. Her first husband was a Williams, and it was Roger Williams who established religious freedom in the United States. Um, Evidently, he had family and children and offspring, and my mother married one of them, one of his offspring. But that marriage didn't go well. She encountered my father. They had grown up together. He was in the military, and they got married. She had a son with that gentleman, my oldest brother. And, we grew up in Rhode Island. I went to Catholic school. We were number two academically in the nation. We were so competitive because of all the other Catholic schools we were competing against constantly. Competition truly helps you to achieve excellence. So as time went on, I ended up moving out west due to some circumstances, and I dropped out of school. I had perfect grades in high school. As a matter of fact, in my 2.5 years, so that first half of my junior year, I had already achieved necessary grades to be inducted into the Rhode Island Honor Society because I had such perfect grades. Because my life was so compressed with works and needs of the family. I had a very sick mother, a very sick father. I was the eldest child at home. I had a sister who had great physical needs, another sister who had great emotional needs, and I had a little brother. A lot of stuff fell on my shoulders. So I grew up with a mindset to do everything right the first time, so I would never have to repeat anything twice. And if I had to repeat something twice, it almost killed me because I knew I was wasting time. So that made me very industrious. It made me think. I had to calculate everything, and I just had to perform on the fly. And I still wanted to enjoy my childhood. It was very difficult, but I never complained. I just did what I needed to do and moved on to the next task. So in high school, whatever they asked me to do, I did it till I got a perfect grade. Science test, 300 question science test. I completed 22 minutes, and it was perfect. And I even received all the extra credit points. Book reports that we were given a whole semester to go ahead and accomplish 2 weeks into a 10-week time frame. I'd be completely done and get an A+. I never made a mistake in math. I just knew everything. I had come out of a phenomenal Catholic school. High school was a breeze. There wasn't anything they could throw at me that bothered me. Unfortunately, my parents did not understand my academic prowess. They did not comprehend what kind of a student I really was. All they ever cared about is, are you finished? We need this done. Can you do this? Can you do that? I had a father go in the hospital, come out, mother go in the hospital, come out, father go in the hospital, come out. I never complained. I just did it all. Again, Father has you trained. The word says to endure hardness, to endure training, to endure hard training as a good soldier. And honor thy father and mother. Irrespective of how your mother and father treat you, it's highly important that you honor them. It doesn't say honor thy father and mother if they deserve it. It doesn't say honor thy father and mother, and you know, unless they do something against the word. It doesn't say anything like that. It's straight out. This is your role so that you may live a long and good life. You know, that's how I look at it. So I worked very hard with my father. I mean, very hard. Man, it was hard. The things I did, I shouldn't have been doing, but it was necessary. That's all I can say. He was a fourth generation brick and stone mason. I was a fifth generation. I knew it like the back of my hand without even knowing it. I did dangerous rigging on high-rise chimneys and buildings. I shouldn't have done by law. I should have never been doing it. But you know, when your father is a steeplejack and he raises you to be a steeplejack, you know, that's how it was back in the day. So I was my mother's favorite, hands down. I was the favorite child of my mother because I did everything. I never complained. I never caused trouble. I just blazed through life. And I loved my mom. My father, I loved him, but he would do something wrong or horrible, and I wouldn't talk to him for months. I wouldn't disrespect him. You know, I didn't disrespect him. I just wouldn't talk to him. Here he was sending me to a Catholic school, wanting me to be upright and logical, and he would do things that just weren't right. And then usually around the springtime, this usually happened all winter. Then springtime, he'd come up and say, "You want to work tomorrow? I need some help." I say, "Okay." And I'd just go to work as if nothing ever happened. He needed me. I did it. It's what helped our family survive. I didn't judge it. I just did it. I was also very stubborn. I was also very, if something was not righteous, boy, I wouldn't let it slip. And even if my father, was the cause of the unrighteousness, I wouldn't let it slip by. My uncles used to tell me, you got to be careful. And I was okay, though. I was taken care of by the Father, the Heavenly Father. I loved my sisters. You know, my one sister, my youngest sister, gave me fits because she was such a problem child. I had great sympathy for my the older sister, because of her crippled condition. I had very little respect for my oldest brother. My younger brother, I never treated him wrong, ever. And I used to have my friends come over, and he loved them because they'd bring him toys. And, you know, he had a good life because of it, you know, the time I got to be with him anyway. But my greatest thirst and hunger was to find the righteousness that was in the Word. And I didn't know it. I didn't know that's what it was. I was looking for it. Life just had very little flavor for me. So as time went on, back to where here I am, a general contractor in the Bay Area. I'm 27 years old. I take this class called Power for Abundant Living. I've been given tools, keys, and principles on how to rightly divide the word of truth. I got to discover what was written to me directly once I was a believer. The 7 church epistles, Romans through Thessalonians. And I was really blessed to be in the Bay Area because there were a lot of good men who had been trained and taught, and they lived there, and we had fellowship with them. And I got a world-class, well, I won't use that word, world. I received a heavenly class level education in the Bible.